Happy holidays, Epic 7, and welcome to this week's Hall of Trials video. This week we'll be tackling Rampaging Yufine, and one nice thing that they have brought around this month is they have reactivated the Dagger Sicar missions and set them to the new Hall of Trials. So rest in peace, old Hall of Trials. It was fun, kinda, but now we are walking away from Nilgal and Archdemon Mercedes and all of that kind of good stuff in favor of the new Hall of Trials with the new reputation bonuses that you can find on the reputation tag. Click on the Dagger Sicar logo down here and click on the Hall of Trials button and you will see all of the things that you need to do to earn the Dagger Sicar reputation points. For Abyssal Yufine, you just need to get 8 million points, which is pretty heckin' easy as long as you do it on hard mode, and you'll get 150 Wisdom Gaze currency to spend in the shop on RGB exclusive equipment. And if you push it to the high-end one and get 21 million points, you will get 3 Molagora. Now, if you've already done Dagger Sicar in the past, you can't double dip, you can't do it again. This is only for first-time clears. So we're going to show you how to get 21 million points relatively easily as long as you have the new unit. Because as frustrating as it is, that's what Smogate's decided to do. Hall of Trials is now no longer just a fun puzzle-solving thing to do every 2 weeks where we have to come up with new and unusual teams to beat the content. Hall of Trials is now a way to sell us the new unit. And that's the case this week as well. So this week you need to have a Soul Weaver hero in the back row, and this target will be immune to the Draconic Seal. And when the boss is exhausted, gain Fighting Spirit. How many Soul Weavers do we have that run off of Fighting Spirit? Yeah. And resets the S2 skill cooldowns of all allies, etc. and so forth. You're going to want to have Child Senya. If you don't have Child Senya, I think you can pull it off running Destina or Green Lots in the back. To get the 21 million points, it's going to be very, very tricky, but you should be able to do it. I was able to get 21 million points running Green Lots, but it wasn't fun. It definitely took some crackerjack tuning, and yeah, I don't recommend it. Just use Child Senya. You want to have 2 or more Earth Elemental heroes on the team to get the 30% attack and speed boost to all allies, but most importantly to have Ignore effect resistance. If you don't have 2 green units, you don't have the Ignore ER, and you're at RNG's mercy. So this is the team we put together. Our 2 green units are going to be, of course, Young Senya and Lilka. Also on the team we're going to have Doris and Brieg. The reason for this trio is because just before the break phase, the boss will get a 4-turn debuff nullifier, and you've got to hit him with 4 debuffs to be able to get the 60% boost to push phase. And it's not just the 60% boost. If you don't do it, you're just gonna die. It's almost impossible to tank past that. So Brieg has got 2 debuffs on his S3, although one of them is a defense break, and since Yufine is immune to defense break, that one won't count. So that's 1 debuff from Mr. Brieg. Lilka has got 2 debuffs on her S3. We got attack down and speed down, so that gives us 3 debuffs total. Doris brings up the rear with our 4th debuff. Her S1 has an 80% chance to blind, so we can use her. Unfortunately, I don't have many other options for you. You can try to swap out Brieg with Fire Cecilia. Her S2 has 2 debuffs on it, so between Fire Cece and Lilka, that covers your 4 debuffs, and that opens up any Soul Weaver you could want for this spot, but it's going to cost you hits inside of the break phase and make it overall a little harder to get a high score. Okay, for the units, Senya, you're going to build her relatively slow, like 140-ish speed. Try not to go too much slower than that, but also you don't want to go too much faster than that or she can lap and mess up your tuning. The protection set I have on her is completely unnecessary. I just thought it was a fun gimmick. You can run her on whatever set it takes to get the stats. Hell, you can run her on triple HP set and it would work. You want to make sure she's as bulky as possible, and if you have her own artifact, run it. That would be great. Nothing else really matters. Next, you're going to run Brieg. Brieg, you want to run as bulky as possible. In fact, I think ideally scrape like 20 or 30 speed off of him and maybe give him a damage artifact like a Card of Small Miracles or Super Duper Water Gun Shooter. But this is my normal Expedition Brieg, so I didn't want to change anything about him. You don't need the pen set, you don't need the crit, none of that's necessary. Next is Doris. Doris, you want to have north of 200 speed. I like her around 210, 220 speed range because she is our principal source of healing. You want to make sure she takes turns. I've got her on Warhorn for cycling and also for additional damage to Lilka, who is our primary damage dealer. Lilka, you want on Cruel Mischief with as much attack and crit damage as possible. Attack higher value than crit damage. In a perfect world, I would have dropped her crit damage down a little bit and boosted her attack up, but this is what the in-game Fribbles found for me, and it's what I'm going to run with. Even though I'm at a 0.8% chance to not crit, we're just going to risk it. This is how the fight goes. Alright, I'm going to show you guys how you can push this through to get a normal high score, and then I'm going to show you how people are exploiting the system to cheese incredibly high scores, and warn you that that's maybe not the best idea. So at the start, Yufine went nuts, almost killed our Lilka, so we're going to S2 to give a healing to everybody. And now we got to get to 8 ticks, or 4 ticks on the bar, so that's 8 hits. The reason we want 4 ticks on the bar is we get the last ticks in the pre-break phase, so there's 1 hit. We'll save the S3 to cleanse the burns, 2 hits, 3 hits. Doris comes in with 4 hits, Brieg comes in with 5 hits. Yufine's going to scream, set everybody on fire. That's why we held back on Senya's S3. There's 6 hits. Senya uses her S3. This will cleanse all of the burns and CR push everybody up a little bit. And there are 7 hits. And Lilka... Usually Lilka doesn't get cut here. If I S1, then she's going to be so far back she'll never take a turn. So I'm going to S2 here. That's going to cycle her down the line enough that hopefully she gets a turn. Okay, Doris, I need you to stick your blind. It's only an 80% chance, so hopefully we don't get 20%ed. We drop that 4 to a 3. Nice. And now we can S3 with Brieg. This will give us the speed down. We can't get the defense break because she's immune to it, so this will only count as 1. This will take us from 3 to 2. And the arrogance of a fool. Okay, well S1 here. Lilka got cut, so we got to use Doris to CR push Lilka to the front of the line.
Even if you're scared, never give up.
And Lilka gets the last 2 debuffs. Speed down and attack down. That'll get rid of the last 2. And that'll get us our 60% push. There we go. Senya activates. And that will let us push into the break phase. Alright, now in the break phase when you S1 with Senya, it doesn't increase the skill cooldown timer, which is nice. And when you attack, you'll notice when you attack, you'll see the word weakling appear over the eggs. When you get to weakling 3, the eggs will counterattack, and that's what's going to let us cycle Senya's skills. So we'll S2 here. I'm going to S3 for the CR push. Doris is going to S2. And this will proc weakling 3, which is going to activate no bullying, and that's going to reset everybody's S2 skill cooldowns, and everybody's S2 skill cooldowns are the non-attack skills, and that's what lets us cycle this pretty much in perpetuity. So we'll S1 here, get to weakling 2, S2 here to push Senya up, S1 here, that'll reset, 1, 2, no bullying. Okay, now I'm going to S3 for a little bit of fighting spirit and to CR push a bit. Lilka's got 2 turns before she can S3, so we'll just S2. That'll push Brieg up. Senya will get an attack off. That's weakling 2. Brieg did not cut. That's really unfortunate. Brieg was supposed to cut S2 and then Senya did her thing, but we'll have to take a lower score. Unfortunately, the S1 only does 2.2 million instead of 4.2, so we lost some points there, but that's okay. We just run with it. All we're shooting for is 21 million, and it's an easy number to get to. Okay, now we can S1, weakling 1, we can S2.
Grant me power, Lord Noyas.
If this goes well,
S2 here.
leave it to me.
Senya attacks. Hit, no bullying, everybody's skills reset. Well, by everyone's skills, I mean everyone's S2s, of course. S3 here for some for fighting spirit.
I'll need to do my best.
And we can S3
I'll
now.
focus on one at a time.
4.2 million.
Suffering is self-inflicted.
S2.
I'll use all my might.
Hit, weakling 3. Hit, reset. This one here, that's weakling 2. We'll S2, cycle Senya down. We'll S1 here. Weakling 3, take a hit, take another hit, no bullying, reset the S2s. Round and round we go. Okay, well S3 for the push and the fighting spirit.
I'll need to do my best.
S2.
Leave it to me.
I have zero time.
S2 with Brieg. S1. It's weakling 2. And we're ready to drop the bomb. This will activate weakling 3. Hit. That will activate Senya. So even though we have pushed the end of the phase and completed the bar and we've exited the phase, Senya is guaranteed another turn, so we get one last hit in before we leave the phase, and that's nice. That puts a tick on the bar that makes life a little bit easier. And now we're out of the break phase with about 13.5 million points. It would have been 15.5 if the speed tuning hadn't been off and Lilka had gotten her turn. Man, Lilka's looking a little threadbare, so we're going to S2 and heal her up here.
Efforts are futile.
Let's see, it's just S1 here.
I study so that I can help others.
We're going to push up Lilka and heal her.
Don't back down. I'll grant you the power to fight.
And then we're going to S2 Lilka to cycle her.
Are you finished fighting?
And then we're going to put some big-ass barriers up so that these burns don't do nearly as much damage. She screams. There's the burns. Now we've got to rapidly get a whole bunch more hits in, like 6 more hits in one round. So let's get as many as we can. So there's 1. There's 2.
Your suffering.
There's 3. Not good yet. We're still okay. There's 4. There's... I'm just going to cleanse these burns and push.
I have zero tolerance for
There's 5.
Let me show you the results.
6, 2, 4, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. Okay, here we are. We need 4 debuffs, guys, before she takes a turn, so hopefully she doesn't catch up. So Senya's S1's here to waste a turn. Okay, Doris, don't let me down now. Don't 20% me. Show that 4 going to a 3. Let's go. 4 down to a 3. Great shape, great shape. Now we can S3 here, and we can put 1 more debuff on. This one's guaranteed. 2, and now we can S3 here. This one's guaranteed. That is 1, and now we're inside the break phase. Now once you've got here, the hard work's done. You are pretty much guaranteed a win. So let's see, let's S1. That's weakling 3, that counters, resets skills. Okay, we're gonna S2 here just to heal up so those burns don't take us out. We'll S1 here. We're gonna S2 here.
I'll use all my might.
That pushes Senya up. How are we looking on Lilka? Lilka's S2 is ready, so why don't we just... How's everyone else's S2 skills? No one else has their S2s, so let's go ahead and activate weakling 3.
I study so that I can help others.
Oops, I kind of messed that up there, didn't I? Let's Let's push Senya up.
With the fruits of my studies, I will protect everyone.
As I was saying, weakling 3. Boom. Now everybody's skills are, or everybody's S2 skills are reset, and we're in good shape. Okay, now we can S3 for some more fighting spirit. And we just got a cycle to get Lilka's S3 back. S2. And this should be weakling 2. We got a wasted attack here, 18. This one. Drop the bomb here. And there you go, 24 million. So here's the thing, guys. You can just stop. You're done. You can walk away from the game. You just go ahead and just hit auto and let it play out. Or you can try pushing for a higher score. Now, if you really want to push for a higher score, you do everything we did up to this point. You get into phase 3 where everything is much higher score. And once you get into the third break phase, I'm just going up to the first break phase to show you how this works because ain't nobody got time for that. Once you get into the third break phase, you literally just press auto and you turn Senya's skills off. What happens here is she starts using her no bullying skill to constantly reset everybody's S2s. And because she's only ever using her S1, she's not CR pushing the team fast enough that they're able to catch up to her. And you're able to do this in perpetuity. I mean forever. Now, Senya doesn't do a lot of damage. You're only doing about 26k damage per hit here. It'll be a lot more on phase 3, because phase 3 the damage is a lot higher. But theoretically, you could just sit here forever, racking up a score, letting this break phase last forever.
The time has come.
But here's the thing. While this is going on, RAM on your computer is being devoured by the nature of Hall of Trials. Whether it's a RAM bleed or whether ongoing calculations are constantly happening and it's being stored in your RAM, whatever the case is, your RAM is taking it in the ear doing this, and eventually your computer will crash. So you have to pull up Task Manager and stare at your RAM to figure out, how far can I put this? How long can I go before I've kind of hit critical mass, before I've used up all my RAM so that I can turn auto off and finish the fight with my high score before my computer crashes? I can tell you this, the developers did not intend this to work this way. The developers did not intend for this to be a top 100 of people who just have really good PCs with tons of RAM in it. You can't do this on a device. You can't do this on a computer without a lot of RAM. I've got I think like 64 RAM in my computer. I could probably run this for quite a while. People with 128 RAM could run it even longer and rack scores up, and people are doing it. I don't recommend you do it. 1, it's hard on your computer. 2, it's boring and you've got better things to do this holiday season. And 3, and most importantly, it's an exploit. No matter how you look at it, this is exploiting the game. Whether you do it just to get your 20 million easy or 21 million easy, or whether you're doing it to get top 100, anytime you take in-game mechanics, using them the way they're designed in-game, but in a way that is not their intended use to gain unfair advantage in a competitive environment, it's like the textbook definition of exploit. And you may not think Hall of Trials is a competitive environment, but to some people it is. There's a leaderboard. There's a leaderboard with a top 100. It's somewhat competitive. It's an unfair advantage because only people with a ton of RAM on their computers can shoot into these 100 million point marks. It's the kind of thing games can ban for. It's the kind of thing Smilegate has banned for in the past. Now, Smilegate is largely on holiday right now. I don't know if, when, or how this will get patched. I don't know if they will hand out bans for people, temporary bans for people who try to exploit the system, or how they'll address it. Chances are they'll do nothing. This is yet again on them. They designed a ridiculously stupid system that anybody could have seen this coming, but they put it out there and people are just playing it to their advantage because that's the way gamers work. Give us any opportunity to game the rules to advantage and we'll do it. And yeah, technically it's an exploit, and technically it's bannable, but I think if Smilegate bans for this, it'd be right up there with banning you for making a purchase from the shop and having it refunded against your wishes, right? I mean, that would be terrible too. It's a bad look right now, guys. Hopefully Smilegate addresses this. I recommend you just take my advice, get your easy 21 million with this team, bang it out and be done with it. If you don't have Senya, you can pull it off with green lots in Senya's place. It is god-awful, painful, terrible to do, but you can pull it off. All the other units are pretty free to play friendly, so hopefully this helps you get your Dagger Sicar score of 21 million. Hopes you get your Triple S Plus locked in. If you have any questions, ask them in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a very Merry Christmas. Take care, Epic 7.